Relationship Series 2, and today is episode 7. We provide guidance on navigating relationship challenges, drawing from our expertise and personal experiences as life coaches. Should you find yourself in need of professional mental health assistance, we strongly encourage seeking therapy or counseling support. If our insight resonate with you and you're interested in any individual or group coaching with us, feel free to contact us via Instagram or join us on Facebook community, right? We will post our link in the description so you can access us easily.
So the question is, okay, we have been married for a few years, and since having kids, our life has become very serious. We barely laugh or enjoy each other's company. How can we add humor back in our lives? Such an important question. What's your take on this?
What I would say is give yourself permission to laugh, right? Let me say that again. Give yourself permission. We don't give ourselves enough permission with all our new roles that we take on, the responsibilities, right? We start adding pressure on ourselves. We create this whole bubble of expectations that we have to be, if we are a wife or a husband, we have to be a certain way. I have to do things a certain way. And as life goes on, more pressure is added, right? And then we have kids. We go and have kids. We add more pressure. And I think when we become parents as well, we add a huge expectation, a huge amount of expectation on ourselves. And while we are trying to navigate that journey, we forget to laugh. Life becomes serious. It's all about the must, the shoulds. And we forget that we can make mistakes. We don't allow ourselves to make mistakes. And we do not allow our other half to make mistakes, right? The minute they make mistakes, that's it. We want to let them know you have made mistakes. But give yourself permission in that relationship to make mistakes. And add humor, laugh about it. We are human beings. We can make mistakes. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this?
I have a very, because I am a deep thinker, I have a very different way of thinking about this area of in a relationship. And I do agree completely that we have to give ourselves permission to not take things personally, right? But why do we take things personally? So I think to begin, when you're noticing that the relationship has gone a bit more serious, is to start acknowledging the shift or the change in your relationship dynamic since having kids or other significant milestones that hits in your life. So I think it's really common for couples to experience a shift towards seriousness as, like you said, responsibilities increases. And from that place, you can dive deeper into why humor has diminished in your relationship. What are the root causes? I'm a big believer in that if you know the root cause and the underlying stressors or unresolved issues contributing to the seriousness of the relationship, it helps you navigate how you can infuse humor back in your relationship. So from that place, I think you can have an open and honest conversation with your partner about wanting to bring more laughter or joy back into your lives. Like express your feelings and listen to their perspective as well without judgment. And I think, like what you said, we start to take things personally and judge our partner without even knowing it because we are on a survival mode most of the time. So I think it's very important to know where the shift happens. what do you think about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree that it is a conscious choice, right? Because as you said, we are so in that we've built this perfect, choreography, right? If this happens, this has to be this way, that has to be this way, and sometimes things are not acceptable. I always see it as, it's funny how when we want fun, we go and look outside. We want to go with our friends, and home, it's almost like you come home, but then you let out all your frustration at home,
Yeah.
and we just do it so naturally. Like, okay, fun means going out with friends, but now just see yourself, reflect on, okay, when we are with friends, how do we have fun? Do we judge them? Do we correct them for their mistakes? Or you've done it this way. You're not holding the the glass properly, or oh, you've just spilled your drink. We don't tell them off. We laugh about it.
Yeah, so there's
But
not a
if
lot of pressure, not a lot of pressure to perform or to meet each other's
yeah,
need. You go in and meet the friend where they are at, and be yourself in those moments as well. So
yeah, no expectations from our friends, right?
yeah,
We let them be and we be ourselves. It's like, ah.
relax. Yeah. So what are some of the ways that this client can infuse or reintroduce humor in or playfulness in their relationship? What are some of the tools or strategies or examples that you might have?
Yeah. When I was reflecting on this question, right, I came up with this 4-step strategy. Step one, permission. Give yourself permission to laugh. Give yourself permission to have fun with each other.
Yeah.
Step two, self-compassion. Have compassion for yourself, that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay if we've done something, and laugh about it. We don't have to be so serious about everything. Step three, acceptance. Now, what is this acceptance? Acceptance that even your partner can make mistakes. He's not superhuman, right? He's a human being as well, or she's a human being as well. So accepting that they can make mistakes. And step four, this is the biggest one. Make fun your priority.
I love
You
that.
have to prioritize fun. And that's what I've noticed in, so this question is almost as if I am asking this question, right? It resonates so much with me. And when I went through my journey, I noticed that we had to prioritize fun. Whenever we went out, we had to tell each other, we're going out, you know what? We're going to have fun. And just getting into that mindset. Otherwise, I know we'll go out, we'll get in the car, and because we all like flustered about getting ready, getting there on time, and oh, everything, the whole thing would just get ruined. We'll get there and not even enjoy. So before we step out, it's like, guys, you know what? Let's breathe, shake it all off. We'll get there when we have to get there. Remember to have fun. And that's it. Everything changes.
Mm. You're setting the tone and expectations from the beginning to allow themselves to tap into being more relaxed and being more accepting of what is in the moment and just diving into what is here rather than pressuring yourself. When you're describing that, it's really a journey where you're going to be rather than, you know, jumping. So your the anxiety is so much because you have to be at a certain place. But when we become more mindful, is more about appreciating the people that you're going to be surrounded with and savoring that rather than trying to get everybody out the door, you know,
Yeah.
in a more forceful and anxious way. Which we face those challenges most of the time because our lives have been more around to-do list, right? And so the humor usually becomes the last of because it requires us to sit to because I think for me humor is like tasting a meal, you know, because you feel it in your heart, you savor it. It brings that tingling all over your body, and you connect with parts of yourself that has been kind of dormant because you're always on the action mode. And when you're humorous, when you're engaging in a humorous conversation or activities with your family and partner, it's about looking at this person and appreciating what is in the moment between you and the other. You're not outside of that container, you're in that place with these people that you're exchanging laughters with, right? And I think that's very important. And there's a lot of scientific proof actually that humor has a positive impact in the health of the relationship, because when you infuse humor in your relationship, you're less stressed, right? You're less anxious, you're less judgmental. Laughter releases, like, you know, the endorphins in the body, and that's a natural mood boosters. It reduces the stress hormones, which is the cortisol. So when it's reduced, you're in the rest and digest, and you're able to absorb what is that you're experiencing rather than you're always in the defensive mode. So you're more aware, you're more able to appreciate the moment rather than being in a fight mode. So when you're in a rest and digest mode, you encourage your system to become more empathetic, compassionate, kindness, and appreciative. And the research has shown that humor contributes to the longevity and well-being of not just the partner, but the relationship itself. So I think when we look at it that way, an element that is really important in a relationship rather than it's something that we have to do because somebody says it's important. So my encouragement is more about what is joy and humor contributes to my body, to myself, and the people around me. Who do I become when I'm happy, when I'm appreciative, when I'm appreciating myself, and if I have self-compassion? Who am I for my kids and my family, husband, friends, when I'm in a rest and digest mode, like less stress, right? And so you can shift your way around choices that you make. And if you find difficult to get in touch with humor or joy, or finding it difficult to find the things or activities that you previously find enjoyable, is to seek professional help, because there might be something, again, underlying causes that might be putting some weight on connection. So contact a therapist, a coach, a relationship coach, you know, a trained mental health professional has a way to help you navigate challenges and develop effective tools and strategies like what you gave to improve the way you see your world, because we're not the same people 5 to 10 years ago, or even yesterday, even a week ago, right? Because our choices and our experiences changes us, and our priorities changes, especially when kids comes into our lives. So we're not saying like you have to be happy and you have to infuse humor because it has to be part of your life, but look at it as how can I benefit from this? rather than another pressure I need to get in touch with, that I need to add into my life that I don't know how. So if you don't know how, please get in touch with friends, and reconnect with the things that makes you just happy. I did this with my son. He wanted, he likes saying jokes quite a bit. So
Yeah,
so I got him a book about jokes.
right.
And every night, I kid you not, every night we have 5 jokes from me and then 5 jokes from him. And then we kind of just laugh, and you play board games that just like doesn't require any mind,
Yeah,
exertion. Yeah.
yeah. I
Anything.
love that. I love that. And you're right. In our family as well, we have fun when we're playing board games. And, that's the time when we don't think about the technical stuff or the responsibilities. It's just about that game. And when we are playing, we have fun. We make sure we have fun and not take the game so seriously about winning and losing and all that. It's about the journey. And, I have a teenager as well. When you were saying about, how tricky it is with teenagers, I have a funny experience with my son, right? When we were going on holiday, we had a connecting flight, and the duration between one flight to another was just an hour. And by the time we got out, we literally had like you just we had to run, and we didn't know that we had to get a bus to get to the other gate, right? So you can imagine the tension and the pressure. We were literally running, me and my children. When we sat in the bus, I could see my teenager. He was so serious, and he was like not making eye contact or anything. And I just burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, this is fun. And I was like, we'll get there on time. We'll get there on time. We'll get there on time. Don't worry, we'll get there on time. And just making, the whole process of running from one gate to another just feel okay. And then when we got to the gate, my son went, Mom, you can breathe now. Oh my God. It was intense, but you can still add humor. And it became a memory, right? And an unforgettable memory rather than thinking, oh, how stressful that was. It was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun, challenging. It was a fun experience.
Oh, that's beautiful. We can find the humor when we look back how stressful that was, and then now you can laugh about it because you survived it, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful how we often do that. I think you've sparked a memory for me, but I think that's another way of getting in touch with humor, is to, when you have conversation with your family member or your partner, is to sit down and remember the things that you've done in the past that was really joyful. And then maybe that some, rekindle it, and maybe something that you can do it again in this present moment. Like if you like to go out on a date, or find like, you know, really interesting restaurants, or going on a hike, or doing something like just the two of you, or infuse humor in that way, or the things that you like to do together. So finding comedy shows sometimes, seeing what is sort of similar with your interest, and see if you can tap into that and then do it together, because humor does not need effort. It just comes, right? It just comes from doing the things that you love, and finding the light side of it, like what you did in at the airport. It's very stressful, but then now you can breathe, and it goes like, wow, I survived that. Now you can laugh about it, instead of like finding the negativity or the darkness of the sides of that experience. Is that the gratitude that you had, when I sensed that.
And can you even see that we do all this, all these responsibilities, these expectations. We're doing all this for our kids when we have kids, right?
Yeah.
But can you see what a beautiful gift we can give to our children in learning how to navigate life with a bit of fun, a bit of laughter, not being serious all the time? Because I would imagine the way we act, all the seriousness, all these expectations, and the must, the shoulds, and this is how it has to be. We probably learned it from our parents by seeing how they navigated life. So why not change it now and give our children the gift of enjoying the process, enjoying life together, even if it's difficult, even if there's high anxiety going on in the air. But, together as a family, we can get through this.
Yeah. Beautiful. Oh gosh, we can
What
talk
are
about
the little subtle ways you would say that things might go wrong? With sometimes humor can be taken in a wrong way or might not be accepted by the other person in the right way. What's your comment around that?
humor can be taken positively, and some people, if they wake up at the wrong side of the bed, they absolutely will take it on the opposite spectrum of appreciation. And so being aware and mindful about the, how, where, and who you infuse humor is very, very important. Setting the boundaries. When I say boundaries, it's more about recognizing and being considerate of yourself and other people. So what I do is I introduce my joke, or I introduce what I think funny, and I say, I found this really funny, but I don't know if you find this funny, so let me know, right? So again, you're introducing it rather than dumping it onto them,
Yeah.
because my funny might not be funny to you. My perception of jokes you might have a very different view. Be considerate, because if your intention is to make things light and the other person is not in that space, the conflict might get worse, right? Because if you say especially with your partner, if you say something that you thought funny and then it was taken as you're making fun of, insulting the other person, taking it as an insult, or taking it in the wrong way, and it's not your intention. So just be aware of how much you use it, because again, sometimes we say things out of autopilot rather than awareness.
Yeah, you're right. Boundaries are important in a relate. That's why boundaries are important in a relationship. Because yes, you can have fun, you can make jokes, you can have humor, but there are certain parts that we as partners or as family we need to be aware of, that we can't make jokes about certain things. And sarcasm, some people use sarcasm as well. Be mindful, don't be sarcastic, because that can have a tinge of shame or guilt or mocking. If the tone, and you might see that your partner is getting upset about it. If you see that your partner is getting upset, just check your tone. Did your tone have a bit of mockery in it, or a bit of guilt or shame while you were saying it? You could say, oh, well, I was only joking. But check your tone and then say sorry, and accept that, okay, I've crossed the boundary here,
Yeah.
and make up.
Beautiful. It's always a repair after.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for today's conversation. I've enjoyed that.
Beautiful.
And yeah, next week we'll come back with another beautiful question, and let's dissect and see how we can improve relationships together, right?
Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll
Thank you.
see you next week.
Bye.